Okay, so now I'm making this on Microsoft Clipchamp because Canvas keeps deleting my videos, and this is taking too long. So, hi, I'm Leah Skinner. I'm a junior and a theater major, and I have a focus in lighting technology. Um, I hope to learn the fundamentals of coding and logic behind um, the underlying systems within code. I don't know. I'm hoping to learn about it. A fun fact about me is I want to be a lighting designer, and I've that always kind of stemmed from a lifelong fascination and fixation with color and all of the properties thereof. So, associations with color, how humanity has evolved to name it, and like why have we evolved to discern where we discern, like that science. Also the science of emission and LEDs, very interested in LEDs. Studying lighting tech is very interesting to me, but it is the easiest way to feed that fascination that I've always had. I'm also very into color theory, of course, and the different CIE, Hue Lab, all the different renderings, and just all that science behind there. That's very interesting to me. That's my like motivating. And that brings me to the video I chose for this TED Talk assignment, and it is called "How Light and Code Can Transform a City." It's from last year, October of 2024, and it's by Leo Villarreal, who's a multimedia. He's an artist who works through the mediums of light and code. So he has a lot of large scale lighting artwork, and he highlights his talk. He highlights his starting point at the where he started to learn to code lights was at the Burning Man festival in his 20s, making his own thing, like rig out of ones and zeros, and doing it all from his computer, which is very um, interesting and innovate. Like that's what you had to do back then, because if you didn't, there wasn't a standard. But he started there, and then he eventually kept working his way up, and his biggest projects were upon the Bay Bridge in San Francisco, fiber optic, just like all across the. Go watch the video. It's really good. I know like no one's gonna watch this upload of me because it's already almost 10 o'clock, and I've no one's gonna reply to this, but go watch How to Light and Code Can Transform a City because it's very beautiful. Um, anyways, what I felt was the main thesis of the or my takeaway, which is a thesis, um, was that public art or public lighting fixtures don't have to be complicated or necessarily super deep to be impactful. Okay, let me rephrase that. Here's the one I wrote down. Simple, reactive, illuminary based art is a great fit for large cities to enrich public spaces and landmarks often visited or passed by. Focusing on places that people are like visit, either whether it be landmarks that tourists visit or places of transport, details. There's a simple art adding wonder into public spaces like this that we don't. It is very rare, and it makes, I think, cities a less soul sucking place to live. I'm not saying all cities are soul sucking. It depends on the person, but there's this kind of like, not stigma, but ideas around public art in that it has to be either a mural that's meaningful to the space it's in, or a graffiti, or like all these different sort of rules about what you think should go there. But I think that what he focuses on is just making things that are nice to look at for people. And there's a simplicity in his focus on interactivity and abstraction, and like not symbols, not not words, not other mediums that are more evocative of certain ideas. He picked just code, interactivity, and light, and those were his only mediums, and that I find very inspiring for the absolute impact of his artwork, which you can see. So that's what I found most compelling, was his drive to make it all on himself, because he must, and his commitment to each piece and fixture and what's it called, implementation. Um, a couple of the other ones he talked about was on, he made a lighting fixtures for every bridge in London across the main river there, which is very historically significant. I don't want to get into all that, but he puts a lot of thought into what he gives back to the public, and that's very inspiring to me. I know that to use code in such a never mind. But we're at 8 minutes already. Great. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Videos are hard. Videos are much harder than normal discussion posts. We've realized this. Okay. Adjectives I would use to describe his tone: hopeful, optimistic, humble, very descriptive. As humble as someone can be when giving a TED talk. But yes. And then what was the other ones? I did the thesis. I did what I found most compelling. If I could ask him one question about his process or the presentation, I could ask him a lot of questions. But if I could ask him just one, it would be, where can I find, is his software open source? Is it an app? Does he make it custom code for each and every artwork or fixture placement that he does? Or is it like, how is he adapted to the standardization of lighting controls? And like there is a system of code, and there is a coding language for at least theatrical controls and other stuff in within softwares. So how does, like, is he averted to that? I'm I'm so curious. Anyways, this was like one of the first ones that popped up when I searched LEDs, which has been what LED TED Talks, which has been what I've been most interested in, and I was immediately inspired. And I knew I had to do it right, so that's why it took long. Um, and then Canvas kept deleting my videos, so now I gotta, yeah. Okay, I really hope Canvas isn't gonna delete my video. I'm gonna make sure I don't have anything